I'm Dylan.
And I'm Kiyan.
And this is Trust Your Doctor, that podcast where we burn down Rome. And succeed.
And laugh maniacally while doing it. While playing a lyre. I always thought it was a violin he played.
Nero?
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't think violins were in ancient Rome.
Yeah, it makes sense. But, I don't know. Stories get distorted. But,
Birds
That's
get
not-
chirping.
yeah, that annoying bird chirp thing.
Okay,
Background.
anyway.
Yes.
Into the serial. The first specifically written to be comedic serial, which means we were laughing at things which we were supposed to laugh at rather than weird camera angles.
No, I think we were laughing at things we weren't supposed to laugh at, too.
Maybe.
But yeah, this was also the first serial. Well, the second serial to feature Vicky, but the first.
With Vicky doing. With Vicky being a companion
Yes.
rather than
Being
joining
introduced.
on.
Yeah. And she does some interesting stuff.
She walks. Okay, anyway.
Yes.
So the serial starts where the rescue ended, with the TARDIS falling off a cliff and landing unscathed.
And then it cuts away.
Just like 2 months later, without telling anyone. It doesn't tell you it's 2 months later. You just find out when Ian says, "It's been 2 months since we landed here,
Yeah.
Doctor. When can we leave?"
Yeah, but it turns out they're all hanging out in ancient Rome, just enjoying
In some guy's
life.
house.
Yeah.
Who's left for Gaul.
They have a vegetable garden. They've been there for a couple months, and they're just living it up in ancient Rome. And now might be a good time for me to say I was falling asleep during the first 2 episodes. So
pretty boring.
Yeah, the first one in particular, and plus all the stuff we did this week. I was pretty tired. But yeah, the first episode moved pretty slowly for the
Well,
first
there
half
was
of
a lot of exposition.
it. Yeah,
like a
mainly
lot.
because of the weird way they decided to set up the story with the cut randomly.
2 months later. So Barbara and Vicky are like walking through the town square, I guess. And
Yeah,
they
they're
see
going to
this,
like a market or
this
something.
cool
along those lines.
fabric that Vicky wants to make a dress out of. So apparently Barbara's good at negotiating.
Yeah, she's good at. She's
Gaming
good at bartering.
gaming the system, basically. She says, no, never mind, we don't want to buy it. And then she tells Vicky, oh yeah, the price is always better when you come back to buy it the second time. So they leave. And there's these guards in the background who are looking for new slaves, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they're slave traders.
And
And they ask one of the market stall people, like, hey, who are those people? We've never seen them before. And they're like, oh, they're Britons.
they're from Londinium. They've been living in that house of that guy up there. You know, they're probably watching the house for him while he's away in Gaul. And that's when you
Yes.
realize they're just stealing some guy's house. So the doctor, Vicky, Ian, and Barbara are like arguing about leaving. Because I guess Ian made a comment about wanting to leave since they've been there for 2 months.
Makes
then-
sense.
The doctor's like, oh yes, I'm going away. I'll be back like in a couple days. And he takes Vicky and he leaves Ian and Barbara in the house. Doctor, why?
And Ian and Barbara end up. Well, the slave trader people show up, and there's this fight scene. And I guess this is the first instance of that new comedic factor, because Barbara hits Ian upside the head with a pot.
She completely misses the slave traders and hits Ian. And he gets knocked out,
Yeah,
and then
Ian
they get
gets
captured.
knocked out.
A nice going, Barbara.
Yeah, Ian ends up on a slave ship. And Barbara...
Oh no, you skip the scene where they're in the like camp getting ready to be sold,
Oh.
and some guy
Oh,
buys
yeah.
some males and takes Ian and these 2 other people, and then Ian ends up on a slave ship. And at some point during this, there's a scene where we see this lyre player walking down the road who looks vaguely like the doctor get killed.
Yeah, so a guy runs out of the bushes and kills him.
Throws the
real-
body in the bushes and runs away. And it was the first death of the serial.
Yes.
Maximus Petulian.
Tulian.
And then, so Barbara gets taken to Rome. Ian's on a slave ship, and the Doctor gets mistaken for Maximus Petulian.
Yeah,
Because he picks up the lyre, and
yes. And they're the Doctor and Vicky are investigating his dead body, or whatever. And I guess this guard comes up and he's like, "Hey, it's Maximus Petulian. We can escort you to Rome." And then he's like, "Damn, he's not dead." So Ian, meanwhile, on the slave ship, makes friends with this guy named
Delos.
Delos? Delos? Something like that. And, they're rowing. They're doing their thing on the ship.
And then they try and escape, and it fails.
And the ship ends up getting capsized.
Yeah, there's a storm, and only Ian and Delos survive. The entire slave ship just dies.
Convenient.
Reckless disregard for human life.
So they wind up on a shore, and they're like, "We'll make for Rome."
Yeah, because Ian knows Barbara's going to Rome, because that's where the slave people were going. And the Doctor, he doesn't know he doesn't know where the Doctor went.
So
He goes to Rome,
and they're like, "We have to not get caught."
and then they get caught.
Later, they get caught, and they get enslaved again. Well,
right before that happened like a little later, because Barbara was in the prison first with the old woman.
oh yeah. So Barbara, in the prison, is just hanging out, doing her thing, and she's about to get sold
At an auction.
And this dude named Tavius is like, "I will give you 10,000 currency for Barbara."
And
he buys her.
Well, no. He
No?
buys her at the auction.
Yeah, he buys her at the auction.
He
That
tries to
was
buy.
later.
He tries to
Yeah.
buy her in the prison.
Yeah.
The guy's like, no, she's going to auction. Then they take him to the auction, and he
Yeah.
buys 10,000 at the auction. The bidding starts at 1,000 and goes to 2,000, 2,500, 10,000. And so Barbara gets sold to that guy.
Yeah, and she, right as Barbara gets sold, the Doctor and Vicky walk by, and they're like,
Oh, slave auction. Lol. Bye.
"Yeah, let's just continue on to Caesar
Nero.
Nero's palace." So Barbara winds up a servant to Nero,
Right.
and the Doctor and Vicky are also in the palace as,
And
You
for
know-
the entire rest of the serial, they somehow avoid running into each other.
yeah. The Doctor is pretending to be Maximus Petulian in the palace. He's just really brazen about it and doesn't have any regard for the fact that he isn't.
And he can't play the lyre.
So Nero has an audience with Petulian, the Doctor and Vicky, and he tells him to play the lyre, and the Doctor's like, "Oh shoot, what do I do?" So he's like, "Why don't you play the lyre, sir?" So he does, and he's like, "Well, I could never upstage you." Nero's like, "Yes, yes." And Nero, I guess, is supposed to be a comedic character.
He
Well.
did burn down Rome.
Yeah, but he was portrayed really comedically in these couple of episodes.
So, Barbara, that's like somewhere near the end of episode 2. Ian finds out him and Delos are gonna have to fight in the gladiatorial arena. So
Yeah.
our predictions were correct from last week. Vaguely.
Yeah, I was still disappointed that there was no Colosseum scene, though. Because, like, that's the icon of ancient Rome. And, like, there were those 2 screens of lions. Like, it was 3 seconds of lions.
Pretty sure there were also like generic lion footage too.
Yeah.
Stock lion footage they found. If they had the internet back then, they were just like stock lion footage.
Google image lions.
So, into episode 3 and 4 like blur together to me.
Yeah, we just watched them, actually. Barbara, or Nero, I guess, has the hots for Barbara or whatever.
So he's chasing her around.
Yeah, and his wife is like, hey,
Whoa.
I don't want you to become Empress. I'm just gonna try and not have that happen. And Nero is acting dumb. And he's running around chasing Barbara and running into the doctor.
And the doctor somehow not running into Barbara.
Yeah. And Vicky, meanwhile, is hanging out with this potion brewer who's
The official poison
yeah.
maker for the Emperor.
The doctor is trying to find out
What the plot that he's involved in is, because Tavius keeps telling him things about this plot that Petulian was involved in that the doctor doesn't know anything about.
So he's trying to discreetly find out about it.
Right.
And all his attempts fail, and then he just luckily catches on to it in the end, but we'll get there.
We'll get that.
So
Eventually, Ian and Delos have to fight each other. For...
isn't the
Nero.
whole poison thing before that?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So the Empress, jealous of Barbara, commissions the poison brewer to poison her drink at this reception or whatever. Wait, isn't the doctor's scene before this where he's like playing the lyre but he's not?
No, that's after that, because that's the feast that,
Oh,
that
yeah,
Barbara's
yeah,
setting
okay.
up for. Really
Oh, yeah,
confusing.
okay. So the poison brewer's like, yeah, okay. And Vicky, meanwhile, is eavesdropping
Hiding
on
under
them.
the table,
Yeah.
which the potion brewer is just okay with.
She was okay with her hanging out in the room. But in a spur-of-the-moment decision, Vicky's like, hey, it's not cool for this random servant to just die like that. I'll switch the drinks.
And kill Nero instead! You know, let's not just kill a random servant. Let's bring down the downfall of Rome, right?
Well, she doesn't know about the whole can't change things in history thing.
The doctor did tell her not to meddle with history.
It's true. Guess she does anyway.
Yeah, because then she goes to tell the doctor she switched the drinks, and the doctor's like, no, too late, we gotta save Nero!
So
And he does.
Barbara downs her entire drink, and obviously doesn't die because she switched the drinks. Nero,
He's about to drink, but then the doctor runs in and saves him!
and then Nero hands his drink off to one of his servants, and he's like, here, drink this. So he does, and he dies. Thanks, Nero. Thanks. So, and then the Empress gets super pissed at the poison brewer for messing everything up. So instead of just letting, I mean, I guess it's wrong, but instead of just letting a random servant die, Vicky kills Nero's right-hand man, pisses off the Empress, has the poison brewer in a lot of trouble, and yeah. Great going, Vicky.
Hey, the doctor, at the end of the serial, which we'll get to in a second.
Oh. Yeah, it's even worse.
So, at this point now, the doctor's at the feast.
Yeah. And he was commissioned to play. He hasn't played yet for Nero, so he was commissioned to play at the feast. And he has this genius plan to not play at all.
And he tells Nero that only those with the finest ear for music will be able to hear his tune, so it's very soft. And he just goes up there, pretends to play, and sits down, and everyone is in uproarious applause.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh yes, I hear it.
Reminiscent of 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
This song of silence.
Also, the doctor claims he gave Hans Christian Andersen the idea for the Emperor's new clothes. Doctor's been a lot of places, apparently.
So
then Nero is pretty upset, so he runs out and has this genius idea to have the doctor play at the circus and then kill him with lions.
because Nero, he's jealous, because apparently no one can be better than him at playing.
Very narcissistic
Yeah,
ruler person
yes.
guy thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Ian.
Ian and Delos.
Fight.
Yes. The Nero is now in a really bad mood, so he wants to see some bloodshed. Nero is just a dick. He wants to see some bloodshed, so he's like, I'm going to commission these guys to fight, and...
So they do.
Yes.
And they don't die. Which upsets Nero.
Yes, Ian and Delos fight...
This is where episode 3 ends. Remember that much.
Ian and Delos fight in front of Nero and Barbara.
Right.
And Barbara's like, whoa, it's Ian. And they're about... Delos is about to kill Ian, but instead, he turns on Nero and tries to kill him. And all these guards rush up. But Ian and Delos fight them off.
And Delos kills one, and then they run away.
Yes, and Ian's like, I'll come back for you, Barbara, somehow.
And then Nero's upset that Barbara's in leagues with Ian, so he pulls out a knife and stabs what looks like Barbara, but it's actually the guard behind her. He just really wanted to see someone die.
He's like, he didn't fight hard enough. So, now Nero's killed 2 of his own guards. Nice going, Nero. It's great.
He just likes getting rid of people. So then Tavius gets told by the Empress to let go of Barbara, like to send her off.
Yeah.
And then Barbara comes to Tavius, distraught about Ian probably going to be killed that night because Nero's going to put the guards up. So, Tavius is going to help Barbara because
that's why he bought her.
Yeah.
To
help her. And because it's in his best interest because it's getting rid of Barbara, which is what the Empress wants.
Yes. So, the doctor
is looking at the plans for the new Rome that Nero,
yes. The one.
It's a crossover with the Matrix. That Nero wants to build. Right.
But the Senate's not allowing him to do anything that he wants.
So Nero comes in, he's like, guess what, Maximus? I have a surprise for you. And he's like, let me guess. I'm playing in the circus.
And I'm gonna get attacked by lions.
Well, he just straight up says that, but he
hints
at it in a comical way, like, I'm going to have them in uproarious applause. It'll be something they can really sink their teeth in. You know, and bad puns like that.
And Nero's like, what? You were ruining everything!
But secretly behind his back, the doctor...
He has his glasses, and he's channeling the sun's rays onto Nero's maps of New Rome.
Refraction.
And he starts a fire.
And then Nero...
I mean, was that part of his plan, or was that just an accident? I think that was part of his plan. I mean,
I don't think the doctor would straight up just put his life at risk and tell Nero he knew he was going to play in the Colosseum. It'd be a bad idea.
So, either way, the maps end up getting lit on fire. And then Nero's like, you're a genius!
Well, first he says...
You're a genius, yes, you're your own species.
You suck. What have you done? You've ruined everything. Wait a minute. You're a genius!
So, he takes the map of Rome and is like, this is it! This is it! I know what I have to do!
I have to burn Rome down!
So, he commissions a bunch of slaves.
To burn down Rome!
Yes.
Good going, Doctor.
Including... Ian and Delos sneak into the group of slaves that's commissioned to burn down Rome so they can sneak back into the palace so they can get Barbara and get the heck out.
Get the heck out of there.
Get the heck out of Dodge. So...
Tavius sees Ian.
Yes.
Right.
And so Tavius helps Ian get out of the crowd. Meanwhile, Rome is burning.
Well, Rome's about to be burnt because those are all the torchbearers.
Yeah.
So Ian finds Barbara. They get ready to escape. Delos shows up, punches some dude in the face with a fire torch, and they escape. Meanwhile, the Doctor and Vicky.
Yeah. Did we ever decide if we're counting the dude who got burned?
I think he was dead.
I don't know if he was dead though, because I mean, there were some guys who went up to him. I mean. I guess it's really our call, I think, on this one.
I'm pretty sure that the wiki just says he stops a guard with a torch.
I don't think that really confirms or denies his death. It's kind of our call, but I'd say he didn't die. Personally, just got some terrible 3rd-degree burns all over his face. Guess he's Anakin.
He's Yes, it's a Star Wars now. He's gonna come back in 3 episodes. He's gonna be Darth Vader, and he's gonna kill the Doctor.
Yep.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. That's actually what happens.
No, we don't know. We haven't watched that far, obviously.
No, but we do know because it's already not what happens.
How do you know?
Oh, good point. Oh yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
The Doctor and Vicky are escaping, and this guard thinks it's Ian, and the Doctor's like, "No, it's just us." Heil.
I know, no.
He does the Mussolini wave, the hi, with the arm. You can look that up on your own.
So amidst all the chaos, Tavius pulls out a cross. And he's revealed to be Christian.
I don't know why this is an important plot point.
No, it's because that's why he wanted Nero deposed, right? Because
we forgot to mention that the plot the Doctor was involved in was to assassinate Nero.
Did we not say that?
No, we didn't say that, which would be important to your statement.
Yes, it would.
The Doctor finds it out right before telling Nero that he knows he's going to perform in the circus.
Yeah.
Anyway,
now he doesn't actually find out. Tavius just happens to tell him, and he's like, "Oh, that's what it is."
Oh, thanks. Finally.
So Tavius pulls out a cross, and because you know how like the Roman Empire wasn't Christian back then. They were like,
yeah, there was what's his name made it the state religion after seeing the image of the cross before the battlefield, or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't remember his name
I don't remember
now.
who it was, but I'm pretty sure they were like anti-Christian. Not only were they not. Not only was Christianity not the official religion, it was like Christians were persecuted.
Considering the Romans were the ones who crucified Jesus.
Okay, yeah.
They were afraid of Christianity. Does that mean Maximus Petulian was also Christian, or was he just like he just happened to be like an assassin for hire who was really good at playing the lyre? Hey, look, I made a rhyme. Do you think?
He was probably Christian. He's probably, if he was in league with Tavius. Actually, you can't really say.
Yeah,
to be honest. Is he a real person? Let's Google it.
I don't think he was a real person, to be honest. He was not a real person. So that's the thing.
So Barbara and Ian escape, and they wind up back in
the house.
The house.
Flavius Giscard.
What?
That's the name of the guy who owns the house, apparently.
His last name sounds really French.
Reign of Terror.
So they're there, and Ian cracks a bunch of jokes.
Yeah.
He finds out Barbara's the one who knocked him out in the first episode.
And he's like, wow, Barbara, wow. Let me just drown you in the fountain. But then he doesn't. And he makes Barbara clean up the pot pieces. And then it cuts to the Doctor and Vicky showing up, and the Barbara and the Barbara.
We say that every episode. Like, the Barbara, the Ian, the Vicky.
I'm telling you, the Doctor doesn't regenerate. He's killed off and replaced.
No.
It's like the Dread Pirate Roberts. Like the old one retires and the new one. Ian's the new Doctor. So anyway, the Barbara and the Ian are cleaned up, and the Doctor and the Vicky show up, and
they don't believe Ian and Barbara, or Ian and Barbara don't tell them that they were
at the house, but Doctor tells them that he was he doesn't say he was Maximus Petulian, but Vicky mentions that they were at Nero's court.
Yeah. And they have some witty banter.
Witty banter. and they end up back in the TARDIS, and then Vicky
Oh.
finds out the Doctor can't pilot the TARDIS.
Yes, but we forgot one of the best scenes. The one where the Doctor and Vicky watch Rome burn, and the Doctor just... I mean, he just smiles. He's like, yes, I burnt down Rome.
Well, the wiki
then-
says it's because he realized that his time traveling actually can influence history. Because before he's always been saying you can't change history, but now he's realizing that actually you can. But he's also saying that maybe if it wasn't him, someone else would have given Neo the idea to burn down Rome.
Neo.
Nero! Damn you, Keanu Reeves.
And yeah, you see Nero laughing
As
maniacally, playing his lyres.
As Rome burns.
But yes, back to the end.
Vicky finds out Doctor can't pilot the TARDIS.
She's like, the Doctor does know how to work the ship, right? And Barbara's like, yeah. Let's just go with that.
And Ian's like, yeah! And Vicky's like, well, he's been at the controls for like hours now. Surely he must know. And Barbara's like, let's go change.
Then it ends.
Then it ends.
Then it ends.
We have no idea what the next serial is going to be.
It's called the Web Planet, but who knows what that's about.
It's about a planet entirely based around the internet. Was the internet even existent in 65?
No, not at all.
The computers were still in their infancy, weren't they?
Yes.
History. So I didn't really like the
I think
comedic
Vicky
angle.
said something along those lines. History. You didn't really like the comedic angle?
I liked it, but they took it too far in the serial. They took it. They strayed too far from the previous serials,
Well,
for my liking.
we found a lot of the stuff in previous serials comedic, even when it wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
So in this one, I couldn't really tell what scenes were actually, or what things were actually going for comedy and what we just thought were funny.
Like that scene where Tavius looks at the camera and he's just got that I've seen some stuff look.
He's just like, why did I take this job?
That kind of glazed over, annoyed look on his face. But yeah, like I was saying, the previous series have been a lot more serious than this one, even when they're not intending to be comedic.
Yeah.
And this one just, I didn't like it. They strayed too far. I want to see less comedy, but still comedy, because it does break up the show a bit. But not like on this level of the Doctor running through hallways and not seeing Barbara for an
there's some
entire 3 episodes.
Scooby-Doo stuff where they're just running back and forth through the hallways. And, you know, I liked this serial, but I did think they went a little too far on the comedy with the character of Nero. I mean, he was just a bumbling...
Well, going on with
guy.
the fact that you said you were falling asleep during the first 2
Well,
episodes,
okay,
I think that falls into they were trying so hard for the comedy that they had to try set up all the exposition in the beginning so they wouldn't have to try like blend the exposition with the comedy at a later point, which is why the first 2 episodes ended up being so monotonous.
Well, really, it was just the first one that I thought was really slow-moving. The second one, I guess, kind of, but I liked the next 2. The ones, the 3rd and 4th. I actually liked the plot of this serial with the Doctor trying to uncover the conspiracy.
Yeah,
And-
the plot was good, but still, they shouldn't try to do humor just yet. There's enough humor in the Doctor going, "It'll be soon now," and running away.
But Vicky in this serial, this was her first serial as a main companion.
Right.
And she didn't do much, to be honest.
She almost killed Nero, almost brought the downfall of Rome, and you're saying she didn't do much.
She did a little that almost had disastrous effects, but she didn't do much.
It's like Barbara and the Aztecs.
But yeah, I guess the comedic take on this serial kind of overshadowed what Vicky could have possibly been characterized as so far.
Right. A lot of what she did in the serial was for comedic effect rather than character development.
Yeah.
So,
As were all the characters.
right, but
so-
we've already seen a lot of the Doctor, Barbara, and Ian.
Nero should have been a companion. He should have just traveled
Queen
along.
Nefertiti becomes a companion for one
Whoa.
episode for the 11th Doctor.
One episode?
Well, historically, Queen Nefertiti disappeared.
Uh-huh.
And according to Doctor Who, that's because she ran off with the Doctor and decided to stay in the future with John Riddell, an archaeologist.
Okay.
It's from the episode Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Sounds good to me.
That was just a weird episode, not gonna lie.
Was it the Edge of Destruction of the new series? What'd you say?
No, because the Doctor actually did something and there was a threat
Oh.
that
Okay.
would destroy Earth.
Alright.
But
Did it made sense. It wasn't just time
yeah,
is collapsing.
they took Queen Nefertiti from Egypt. Yes, it makes sense. Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Spaceship. So we talked about blah 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 blah. Anything else we wanted to say? Something we wanted to say about something. I felt like I recognized Tavius.
Why?
I don't know. He looked familiar for some reason.
No, I didn't think so.
It was just me then.
Let's look up who played him.
All right, so yeah, the page says he was secretly a Christian.
Yes.
He was played by this dude.
Michael Peake.
Who? Let's look at his IMDb page. Yeah, I don't know why I recognize him, because I recognize none of the things he's been in. Oh well, whatever.
Sets in this serial, special effects, music.
They achieved the look of Rome pretty well, I think. It
Well,
felt like
it
you
was-
were in Rome.
It was mainly the palace, a few scenes of outside in Rome, in the city itself. But in the first few episodes, despite the slow moving pace, it did seem like, what a Roman countryside could be.
Right.
The palace obviously looked palacey.
Of course, they always have to put the toilets out of commission.
Yeah.
It was a really thin reason this time. Just the Doctor not wanting to leave.
Yeah. It's
Incidental music, there was this... The only one I noticed was during Barbara running through doors and the Doctor chasing Nero scene.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that. What I did notice was there was like a recurring theme that played like 3 or 4 times. It was in the first episode and the last episode. It played a couple
I
times in the
didn't
middle.
notice it.
Yeah, that's all I noticed. It wasn't anything special. I just like, hey, cool recurring little bit of
Budget.
music.
I'm excited for the time when we get to the episodes where we can be like, oh yeah, there was incidental music in every episode. When they finally have the budget to do something like that.
And not just guy banging on bongos off set.
Off screen. Yeah. That
Yeah,
concludes everything we want to talk about for this episode.
yeah, about wraps it up.
We got an email this week.
Which,
Man.
according to Dylan, spoils.
The entire overarching plot of season 6 of the reboot.
So I haven't watched it, and
So-
I'm just gonna leave while he answers your questions.
Yeah, so Kiyan's left, so now I'm going to read you the email from Roger Jenkins. Hey, just discovered the show. Have not watched the original series myself, but I love how you guys are describing it. I have it in my Netflix queue and I hope to get to it someday. So now, massive spoilers if you haven't watched the reboot. I'm going to suggest you just skip ahead. Dylan, love how you described the puns. Yeah, I got sick of them too and wish they were just done with them after that season ended. Nevertheless, I wanted to ask you what you thought about the astronaut killing the Doctor. Why did River not remember it? Why did River not remember it was her that was in the suit killing the Doctor, since the River in the suit was from a previous timeline? Maybe she did not want to let on she knew because she also knew that she could not change a fixed point in time. But then again, the Doctor changed a fixed point in time by going in as a robot. How do you explain that? Are the writers just inventing crap to make the show interesting? Anyways, we'll try start watching along with you guys. Keep at it. Love the show. Roger. All right. This ties in to my perception of the Doctor Who universe, which is that we're seeing the Doctor do things, but in the history, it's already happened. Like, I mean, we could look at the Romans that we watched this week, and we see the burning of Rome, which the Doctor caused, but the Doctor already knows that to have happened. So, in the universe, things have happened that the Doctor has caused, but he doesn't know he's caused them, if that makes sense. So, like, bringing back the reboot, the Doctor restarting the universe with the second Big Bang at the end of season 5 already happened in the timeline, but we just witnessed it happen from the 11th Doctor. So, River knows that the River at the beach seeing the astronaut kill the Doctor, I don't know where that River falls, whether she was pre-astronaut or post-astronaut, but I think if she's post-astronaut, she knows that she tried to change the fixed point in time, and it caused the whole collapse of the universe thing, with all of time happening at once with the Winston Churchill and the Area 16 or whatever, the pyramids. So she stops Amy and Rory from interfering because she knows that's how history happened. So my interpretation is she doesn't forget necessarily, but that she knows it happened. For example, how if you go back to the 10th Doctor in the introduction of River's song in the library, even at that point, since that's definitely post-astronaut, she knows that she kills the Doctor, which is why she's sad that this is her final experience with the Doctor and it's not her own. And she doesn't want to tell the Doctor what happens in his future, that she kills him, so to speak, and also that she doesn't kill him, if that makes sense. Going along, I think I might have skipped a line in the email, but I think you mentioned the Doctor changed a fixed point in time by going in as a robot. That ties in that also already happened. When we see the event originally in The Impossible Astronaut, we see the robot there. We just don't know it. So in regards to that fixed point in time at Lake Silencio, it was created with the Doctor in the suit being quote-unquote killed by River Song. So we see the event. We don't see the collapse of the timeline because River changed the event. We merely see the event as it happened without the collapse, which is her shooting the Doctor dying. And then at the end we see that River attempts to change time by not killing the Doctor. And then the time eventually reverts to her just shooting the Doctor. And that's what we saw in The Impossible Astronaut. We just saw without the cut away to the universe changing. And we know River knows she killed the Doctor because the Doctor asks River why she's in jail, and River says she's in jail because she killed a good man. And if you look at, in the middle of season 6, Demons Run, when a good man goes to war, that good man is the Doctor. River knows she killed the Doctor, but she doesn't outright say it. She went to jail because she killed a good man being the Doctor. So that's my interpretation of it, at least. And I could be wrong, I could be right, I have no idea. Caveat, I haven't watched the final 3 episodes of season 7. Gonna get to that soon. I haven't watched the 50th anniversary, and I haven't watched the regeneration of the 11th. So maybe there's some information there that I don't know, but that's my take on that. I'm gonna get Kiyan back in here now. So I got Kiyan back.
Yes, I'm back. Spoiler free and back.
And ready to watch more next week.
Yes.
In my long-winded explanation, I forgot to mention, Roger mentioned Netflix, and I noticed this when I was looking at Netflix and Amazon Prime. For the original series that started in 1963, they don't have all the serials. It looks like I know Netflix has approximately one serial for each season.
It had the Aztecs.
Yeah, I don't know which one it
It,
has from season 2. I haven't looked, but and I know Amazon Prime also has. Amazon Prime is all over the place. It has like 2 serials from some season and 1 from the other.
Yeah.
So that's an option if you just want to like get glimpses of each season. But if you want to watch like the full thing that we're doing, you can find DVDs and other options that we won't mention because they're avenues that may not be entirely white collar. And that's that. So next week,
What was it?
the web planet, the planet based on the internet. The web planet.
Yes.
Vicky, Doctor, Ian, Barbara doing some stuff. Another attempt at a memorable enemy according to the wiki page.
But we'll find out next week. And so will you. The end.